Get way better weather updates anytime with the WWAY Storm Track 3 mobile app. Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Jerry Jackson with your Storm Track 3 forecast. First.
Well, it certainly was hot outside today, but believe it or not, it wasn't nearly as hot as yesterday. So we'll take what little bit of cooling relief we can get with this stubborn type of pattern outside. We have 87 degrees right now. Wilmington, Raleigh checking in at 88. Charlotte at 90. Columbia, South Carolina still running hotter at 93. Heat indices not as impressive today as what we were seeing yesterday, but if you tend to like excessive heat, you'll be in luck because it'll be roaring back in tomorrow over the next couple of days. Tracking a few thunderstorms to our northwest. We'll let you know where they're headed coming up. WWAY News Channel 3 at 5 is now.
Live, local, interactive, and in high definition. This is WWAY News Channel 3 at 5.
Now on WWAY, accusations of rape have been made against a state trooper. Thanks for joining us tonight for your News at 5. I'm Chris Phillips.
And I'm Khaki Catlett. An area woman claims she was the victim of a brutal rape earlier this week.
And she says her attacker is a state trooper. WWAY's Marissa Jassic is here with more details. Marissa.
Chris, a spokesman says the State Bureau of Investigation has opened a case on State Trooper Brian Phillips for an allegation of sexual assault. The SBI told us the New Hanover County District Attorney's Office asked for the investigation this afternoon. The alleged victim says she met Trooper Phillips a few weeks ago on the online dating website Plenty of Fish. The woman says she went to his house in Wilmington 2 nights ago and was forced into his bedroom where the attack happened. Coming up at 6, more details about the alleged attack and a statement. Khaki.
Thank you, Marissa. Caught on tape, 2 teens go at it in a Wilmington apartment complex as adults stand by. But there may be more to the neighborhood problem than just this fight. WWAY's Katie Harden is here now with more in a story that's only on 3. Katie.
Khaki, the fight at Green Tree Apartments off North Carr Avenue did not escalate too much, but the footage did cause some concern. A group of people stand outside an apartment building yelling profanities at another group. Wilmington police say many of the people were posturing as they get ready to fight. And minutes later, that's exactly what happens. 2 boys start fighting, egged on by one boy's mother and his aunt. Police say this video could lead to criminal charges. When we went by the complex to ask questions today, even more unfolded. Coming up on WWAY at 6, we'll have more on this situation that was caught on tape, and we'll show you what happened today. Chris?
Katie, thanks. We'll see you back for more on the story. Only on 3, Sunday school turned scary at a Brunswick County church when a man threatened that there was a bomb in the building. WWAY's Cliff Pyron joins us with a story. Cliff?
Chris, deputies arrested Christopher Walker at Beach Assembly of God in Ocean Isle Beach for disorderly conduct, simple physical assault, and assault on a female. Sheriff's Detective John Holman says the call came in as a bomb threat. He says when investigators arrived on scene, the 31-year-old Wilmington man had already been restrained by members of the congregation, including an off-duty deputy. Investigators believe that Walker was under the influence of some sort of drug, but they don't want to speculate what that was. Coming up at 6, we'll hear the 911 call from the incident, from first responders, and from the pastor of the church. Khaki.
Thank you, Cliff. New details on the animal bite we told you about yesterday at Ocean Isle Beach. WWAY obtained the 911 calls from that incident where an animal bit a 12-year-old boy in the water. Now, witnesses told us the boy was talking about something the size of his arm that swam between his legs before he felt that bite.
I don't know if my nephew has been bitten by something, has a huge gash in his leg. We are at 131 West 1st Street.
He has a gash in his leg.
He has a gash in his leg. Mom, has he been bitten by something? We think maybe it's a big, deep gash. Might be sharp, possibly.
The town of Ocean Isle Beach has not released the identity of the victim, and there's no word on how he's doing.
FT Norton of the Star News is reporting a Wilmington man is in the Brunswick County Jail for allegedly molesting a girl younger than 13. 49-year-old Joseph Henry Spicer Jr. is charged with felony, first-degree sex offense of a child, and 2 counts of indecent liberties with a child. Spicer is in jail under a $250,000 secured bond. In New Hanover County, a man is in jail after allegedly running an indoor marijuana grow operation. 56-year-old Harold Monroe Becker Jr. faces multiple felony drug charges. Detectives say they seized more than 150 marijuana plants during the operation with a potential value of more than $200,000. Becker is in the New Hanover County Jail under a $50,000 secure bond.
Also in New Hanover County, Ogden Park is back open after a brush fire earlier this week. Firefighters say that visibility has improved, but smoke may still be in the area for the next 4 to 5 days. Investigators believe lightning started that fire Monday afternoon. They suggest drivers on Market Street near the park be careful if the area is smoggy. In Columbus County, a hog farm operator has been ordered to pay $1.5 million for violations of the federal Clean Water Act. Earlier this year, Freedman Farms was found guilty of dumping hog waste into a stream leading to the Waccamaw River. $1 million paid in restitution will go to the NC Coastal Land Trust to buy and preserve wetlands.
New this evening, with 5 months left to go, the Tar Heel State has set a record for in-state film production spending this year. The North Carolina Film Office reported today that 35 films in 30 counties have accounted for $300 million in spending this year. That beats last year's record of a little more than $220 million.
Only on 3, local artist Ivy Hayes is famous for his colorful paintings. Recently, a blood clot in his right arm took away his gift to paint. Hayes says God and visits to a chiropractor gave him the ability to paint with his left hand. Today, Hayes said then by giving his doctor his first left-hand painting. Coming up at 5:30, more on Hayes and his gift for art.
In Wilmington, the Brigade Boys and Girls Club has a reason to celebrate this weekend. The group entered a video into an Old Navy sponsored online contest for a $10,000 grand prize. Well, they won. On Saturday, Jordan Knight, the lead singer for the late 80s pop group New Kids on the Block, will present a check and perform some of his hits. You can find more details on our website, WWAYTV3.com.
In sports, UNC Wilmington Athletics Director Jimmy Bass held court today for a State of the Union Seahawks athletics update. He invited the local sports media to attend. John Rindleman will join us to go into detail with Jimmy Bass coming up on News Channel 3 at 5:30.
Summer camp at the Brent Blizzard Basketball School in Wilmington is about to wrap up. Tomorrow is the last session for all of the youngsters at the Blizzard Gymnasium. But it's clear that basketball has become a year-round event at Blizzard Athletics. John will explain ahead at 5:30.
The Shark Tank is the place to be tomorrow night, where it's WWAY Shirt Off Our Back night. The Sharks play a doubleheader against the Fayetteville Swamp Dogs at Buck Hardy Field starting at 6 o'clock. Your favorite man on the mound, Chris Phillips, will throw out the first pitch, and fans will have a chance to win a WWAY News Channel 3 jersey right off the back of a Sharks player right after the first game.
Don't worry, it won't be my jersey. In New Hanover County, leaders from both Curie and Carolina Beaches met with county commissioners. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss issues important to all communities, from dredging to smoking on the beach. Good Morning Carolina anchor Ashley Jacobs has our story.
Though he's running for State House, New Hanover County Commission Chair Ted Davis says right now he's 110% a county commissioner. He called the meeting with the area beach communities to discuss issues important to all.
The 3 beach communities and the county all need to be on the same page.
Beach nourishment and Carolina Beach inlet dredging were among the topics discussed, as well as the creation of a new county job, sand manager. The position will be posted soon, calling for part artist, part engineer, and part lobbyist to help protect the county's beaches. Saving the sand also raises questions about litter control. While Wrightsville Beach moves forward with a potential smoking ban on November's ballot, Carolina and Curie beaches want county support on smoking and plastic bag bans. But the two towns are still at odds over the elements within the bans.
And I just think it's important before the county can come on board in supporting such a ban in either case would be, number one, to make sure that all 3 beach communities are supportive of the language that would be in a countywide ban.
The second issue still at hand is who enforces these potential bans? Town, county, federal government. In Carolina Beach, Ashley Jacobs, WWAY News Channel 3.
From here, county commissioners will consider which issues to discuss at their next meetings as Curie Beach and Carolina Beach leaders do the same.
In national news, Fox News is reporting that James Holmes, the accused gunman in last week's movie theater shooting in Colorado, mailed a notebook full of details about how he was going to kill people to a University of Colorado psychiatrist before the attack. But the parcel sat unopened in a mailroom for as long as a week before its discovery Monday. The FBI now has that notebook.
Don't forget you can follow all of today's stories and more when you go to our website, WWAYTV3.com. All of the news, weather, politics, and sports you need is right there. While you're there, you can also download our mobile app and always be in the know when you're on the go.
Yesterday's heavy rains caused flooding throughout the state. In one city, the rains took an SUV full of people on a wild ride. One Carolina Panther makes a bold statement about this season's Super Bowl.
And a day after releasing its quarterly report, Apple releases its newest product. But first, a daredevil makes a skydive the likes of which you've never seen before.
You're watching WWAY News Channel 3, the Cape Fear's local news lead, where you get way more local news and way more in-depth reporting than on any other local TV station. WWAY is live, local, interactive. You're watching WWAY News Channel 3 at 5. Voted Best Newscast in the Carolinas with Chris, Kathy, John with sports, and Jerry with your Storm Track 3 forecast.
Well, we had another hot day of weather outside today, and that's nothing unusual for July, but this has been another one of those really hot Julys, at least officially out at the airport in Wilmington. Highs of 95 degrees or above 12 different days so far this month. Highs of 100 degrees or hotter 4 different days. So believe it or not, today was actually one of the cooler days because we didn't hit 95 in Wilmington. We only topped out at 92, close to the seasonal average for this date of 90. The record high is 99. We'll be much closer to record territory as we head into Thursday and especially on Friday. That looks to be the hottest day of our upcoming mini heat wave. Right now we're at 87 degrees. Our dew point is at 71. Relative humidity of 59% now. Winds out of the southeast at 9 miles an hour. You do find some cooler readings up north. Kenansville checking in at 86. A little hotter over here in Pender County. Holly Shelter observation site at 92. Whiteville checking in at 91. And again, yes, it was hot outside, but all of these numbers are significantly lower than the daytime highs we were recording yesterday when quite a few locations topped out close to 100. But this cool down, if you can call it that, is going to be very brief. By tomorrow, our temperatures start to go right back up again, and they're going to continue to go up at least through Friday into part of Saturday. Heat indices, yes, they're still worth mentioning here, but not overly impressive. Heat index of 93 right now. Wilmington feels like it's 93 up north in Jacksonville. Temperatures statewide, Raleigh checking in at 88, Roanoke up north at 90. Heat indices is not too far behind. Feels like it's close to 100 in Charlotte, and down south toward Augusta, a heat index of 101. Obviously, with a little bit less instability to work with and no really big trigger, the showers and thunderstorms have been decidedly less impressive in coverage outside today. Really, you have to get out of our viewing area and head into the western half of the state. Tracking a few hail-producing storms over here to the north of Charlotte and a little bit closer to the Asheville area. We're going to keep an eye on this, although Pinpoint Futurecast is not overly impressed with the rainfall potential around here, has most of this activity continuing to diminish as it approaches our western counties a bit later this evening. In the wee hours of the morning, wouldn't be impossible to see a little bit of development close to the coast, so we'll throw in about a 20% chance of a shower or thunderstorm either late tonight or early tomorrow morning. But overall, it should be a fairly quiet weather pattern for us in the short term, and barring a stray pop-up thunderstorm tomorrow, just a typical summertime day, perhaps a few extra degrees on the temperature department. Now, the tropics still continue to remain quiet. About the only thing of note we have is a little bulb of thunderstorms over here in the Gulf of Mexico off to the west of Florida. That has some potential, we should say, but really not very much at this point. We're really kind of hunting to find anything of note in the Atlantic Caribbean or Gulf of Mexico showing any signs of tropical development, and that's typical for July. It's usually one of the quieter months of the tropical season. Tonight, partly cloudy, just a slight chance of a stray pop-up storm, otherwise warm. Overnight lows in the mid-70s, and coming up for tomorrow, hotter than what we saw today. We'll easily hit the mid and upper 90s. Some of you may top out over 100, and just about everyone is going to see their heat index climb above 100, so we do have a heat advisory in effect Coastal waters forecast, upper 80s at the beaches. Seas average 3 to 4 feet with a low rip current risk. And your Storm Track 3 7-day extended forecast, mid to upper 90s again for Friday. Quite a few inland counties will top out in the hundreds. Friday's probably going to be the hottest day on average of this most recent hot spell. As we head into the weekend, we do start to cool things down a little bit, but it may take us until Monday before we really notice a difference. By then, we'll be in the upper 80s. Our best chance of getting wet is going to be Saturday and Sunday, and even then, just spotty thunderstorms, not an all-day rain.
Well, turn the AC on, I guess, for the next several days. It's hot out there.
Yeah, it really is. You really need a thunderstorm. And sometimes when you get stuck underneath a storm this time of year, you can get too much rain.
Get forward.
That's true. Thank you so much, Jerry.
Yes.
An Australian daredevil named Felix Baumgartner pushed the limits this morning. He made an extreme skydive miles above the earth that has to be seen to be believed. Scott Goldberg explains what happened.
Anybody watching the early morning liftoff of a giant balloon attached to a space pod carrying a man who was about to jump back to Earth would be excused for thinking this guy is crazy. But Felix Baumgartner says there's nothing crazy about careful planning.
I don't think you have to be a lunatic. It's all about input and output.
Wired for constant communication with Earth, the Austrian daredevil went to the edge of space, 96,000 feet into the sky, and took the plunge. In just 25 seconds, he went from 0 to 536 miles per hour. The free fall lasted a total of 3 minutes and 48 seconds. Then he released his parachute and finished the 18-mile skydive standing up.
And Felix has landed safely back to Earth.
The hardest part, he said, was being alone with his thoughts inside his spacesuit.
And it's a torture from the beginning until the very end. When you open that parachute and you put your visor up, that's a huge relief.
But this jump was just a tune-up. Next month, Baumgartner is going back up 120,000 feet above Earth, trying to break the all-time record for highest skydive set by retired Air Force Colonel Joe Kittinger, who's coaching the new kid.
And we're just happy as hell that you made it.
In that next jump, Baumgartner will break the sound barrier with his body and nothing else.
And I think we're ready to go.
A different kind of bravery to be able to do something like that.
You ready to break the sound barrier with your body?
With your body? I can't even imagine.
I wonder what happens then.
I don't know, but obviously he needs that adrenaline. He's going after some rush.
A little bit
there.
adrenaline junkie. Yeah, we'll see how he does.
Man.
Good luck. Yeah. Well, Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner went to Capitol Hill to testify about the economy, but he ended up getting grilled over the scandal involving rigged interest rates.
And a new survey finds foul language on the job could impact you more than you think. Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner was on Capitol Hill today to testify about the economy.
But he ended up getting grilled over the scandal involving the rigged London Interbank Offered Rate. That's a key financial benchmark that impacts interest rates for mortgages, loans, and other investments worldwide. And it turns out the interest rate is the one the U.S. used to set the limits of terms of some of its multi-billion-dollar bailouts. Geithner says he doesn't know if the bailouts ended up costing taxpayers more because of the rigged rates.
Apple's newest operating system for its line of Mac computers is out today. The tech giant confirmed yesterday in its earnings report that OS X 10.8 Mountain Lion would go on sale this morning. Now, anyone who bought a new Mac after June 11th gets the upgrade for free. New features include closer integration with iPhones and iPads and easier access to social media.
As your mom probably told you before, watch your language. It could cost you a promotion or your job. A new survey finds 4-letter words could impact your professional image more than you think. Karen Kafa explains.
On the most stressful days at the office, it's easy to let a few 4-letter words slip.
It's something I don't want to do that sometimes I do, on accident. It just kind of happens.
But swearing in the workplace can put a dent in a reputation, according to a new Career Builder survey of more than 6,000 employers and employees. 57% of employers said they'd be less likely to promote someone who uses salty language, and more than half said it makes a worker seem less intelligent.
Well, the majority of employers told us that they think less of the person, and they really question their professionalism. They also talk about questioning the lack of control and their maturity.
Only 28% of workers said they directed an expletive at a colleague. Most use their language just to vent.
You get off the phone with somebody who's frustrating and you say something just to get it off your chest. So it happens pretty frequently in my industry.
Regardless of the reason or how comfortable you feel around your colleagues, career experts advise you hold your tongue.
We're all stressed. It's leaner workforces. We're doing more work. Our workloads are increasing. But keep that level of professionalism, because what you think might be an okay word in the office, your coworker might not, or your manager might not.
The survey found workers here in the nation's capital the most likely to curse in the office, followed by Denver and Chicago. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
We're going to try to keep it clean.
None of that around here. Perfectly clean.
That's right. Well, heart attacks are the leading cause of death among Americans. One group has a higher chance of having a heart attack than most other people.
And ahead at 5:30, see where North Carolina ranks in terms of taking care of our children. Heart attacks are still the leading cause of death among Americans.
But a new study shows that one group of patients has a higher chance of having a heart attack than most other people. Paula Ferris tells us who is affected in tonight's Health Watch.
Osteoarthritis is a disease that mostly affects hands, feet, the spine, and the large joints that carry most of our weight, the hips and knees. For some patients, surgery may be necessary to put an end to the pain and suffering. Worldwide, more than 1.8 million people have total hip and knee surgeries every year. We've known for some time that those patients face a higher risk of heart attack after surgery, but a new study shows the link is stronger than previously believed. Researchers collected data from 95,000 Dutch patients who underwent hip or knee replacement surgery. They compared the results to similar patients who did not go under such operations. They found that patients 60 years or older who underwent total hip replacement were 25 times more likely to have a heart attack within 2 weeks after surgery. It was 31 times more likely for those who received a new knee. But after 6 weeks of surgery, the risk of a heart attack dropped. It was 0.5% above normal for hip surgery and 0.2% higher for knee surgery. With this Medical Minute, I'm Paula Ferris.
He is a local artist with his share of health problems. Now, Ivy Hayes redirects his talents, but he refuses to stop.
And we joined UNC Wilmington Athletic Director Jimmy Bass for a State of the Union Seahawks athletic update.